Okay, things are happening in Israel right now. It's really a kind of a scary place because it's kind of like a cauldron of all this stuff. The Middle East is just like a powder keg, waiting to go off. And the foundation of the powder keg is irrationality, um, which is unfortunate. That we can't get along. It's my brother killed your brother, and my great uncle was killed by your grandfather, and there's so much of these intertwining threads of hate. And what we, as Jesus said, I'm not a Christian, but as Jesus said, we must sow love, not hate. And we're going the wrong way in the Middle East right now. Bombs and things going on, and and it is tough. It's a tough world to have everybody get along. It really is. So I got a quick statement about love and joy to close off my segment, but we have to face the news of Gaza City. Uh, this is according to a CNN story. Rockets landing near Israel's two most populous cities Friday as fighting between Israel and Hamas militants persisted with no immediate end in sight. Two rockets hit north of the city of Jerusalem. CNN affiliate Channel 2 Israel reported Hamas militants confirmed they had fired rockets at the city. Air raid sirens also sounded in Tel Aviv, but officials said rockets fired toward the city did not hit land, but might have landed in the sea. Fighting has left 24 dead, over 200 wounded. Palestinian officials said Israeli officials reported no deaths Friday, saying a total of 3 have died from the rocket fire since fighting broke out. Gazans got no respite from the ongoing attacks as Egypt's prime minister arrived for a visit. Israel planned a ceasefire for Friday to accommodate him, according to the senior official from Israel's prime minister's office, but the move was contingent on the Gazans also holding their fire. The military began Operation Pillar of Defense this week in response to a high number of rockets fired at Israel. This alone, let's see, the Hamas fired over 1,000 rockets. So this Hamas and Israel, it's this divide. It's like, if I could give a criticism to one thing in the world that needs to be fixed, it's the divide. It's this divide between liberals and conservatives, this divide between Christians and non-Christians, this divide between men and women, this divide between yin and yang, this divide between peace and war. That's where the craziness starts, is when you get this divide that creates this fracturing. And Palestinians and Israelis. Why don't we spend more time trying to build our families rather than bombing each other? I mean, it's just, isn't it common sense that just care about your family and stop bombing each other? I don't understand war. I never have understood war. I don't get it. The bomb clouds in Gaza could be seen from Ashkelon, Israel, in the morning light. Military campaign has hit relevant military targets and stifled the launching of rockets out of Gaza, according to Israeli officials. Gazan militants from the Qassam Brigade denied Israeli reports that their attacks had lightened up. I don't know how do you lighten up an attack? Rhetoric towards Israel was diplomatic, somewhat diplomatic. Let's see. One person said, "No one can remain still and watch this tragedy unfold in this fashion. This is impossible. The whole world must intervene, and Israel must abide by the agreements to stop the aggression." Israel said that it has called thousands of residents in Gaza to warn them of strikes and dropped leaflets in Gaza warning Palestinian civilians to avoid being present in the vicinity of Hamas operatives. This Hamas group is just awful. Hamas seems to be the root of evil there, for sure. Hamas, the extremists, and I just don't. I guess I have a layman's understanding of all this, but it does seem to be that Hamas is the more irrational party here, and they just would rather shoot than ask questions. It really does seem like they'd rather shoot than ask questions, and that's just extremely dangerous. Fox News reporting the rockets being fired as war looms over Gaza. 2 rockets landed in open fields outside Jerusalem after air raid sirens sounded in the city, sending Israelis running for cover. Israeli media say the rocket fell north of Jerusalem, but the authorities have not confirmed the reports. Air raid sirens all the time. Can you imagine living in Israel now? You're just on constant pins and needles. 85 missiles exploded within 45 minutes of Gaza City, sending black pillars of smoke towering above the coastal strip's largest city. The military said it was targeting underground rocket launching sites. Fighting between the two sides escalated sharply yesterday with first ever militant attack on the Tel Aviv area. So then they're getting close to downtown. It's this, really what it is this temptation of, this evil aggression gone crazy. We just cannot, as a human race, control our aggression. That's just really, really upsetting. And, with my friend in India, my YouTube friend in India, Mumbai, had asked for my comments on Israel, so that's why I did this today. And Mumbai, I'd like to hear your comments too on Israel and what is India's comments on this. Of course, India has their own tensions with Pakistan now, and it's just an area that's just very scary. You've got the Middle East you've got Iran and very dangerous statements about Israel, and then it becomes a Christian or a holy war. And once it becomes religious wars, then it's hard to reason with anybody. It's just everybody's positive they're correct. There's no reason around it. No reasoning around war. It's just people are mad as heck, and they just want to take it out on somebody. This is the dangerous immaturity of man, shall we call it? Dangerous immaturity, very dangerous. And unless we learn to shake hands and get along and compromise, the same old patterns are going to go over and over and over and over again. And that's the scary thing, is that we're never going to learn from our own mistakes. That's the most pessimist. Now, the glass half full is that that we will have leaders that will step forth, leaders who will model love and compassion, rather than leaders who will get up and say, let's kill him, pretty much. That's why I like Barack Obama, because he's not the vengeful. He wants to bring people together. He's not a vengeful type. So it'll be interesting to see what President Obama's response to this. He's, I'm sure, very nervous about this and what's going on, and what do I do? What's the response? What do I tell my generals? What are my generals telling me? And if the U.S. gets too involved, then we could create a super hornet's nest. So it's got to be intelligent restraint here, and just watch and wait. And it is scary if the nukes start flying, and it could be all over for everybody. So hope not, But we've got to save ourselves. I don't think Jesus is going to come out of the clouds and save us after a nuke. We have to save ourselves. So there's some thoughts on Israel, and I'll be following that closely. But even as somebody at work, who I didn't think was following political very closely, said, "Did you hear about what happened in Israel today?" So I was kind of surprised, and so people are really in the United States starting to really worry about Israel quite a bit, and worry about this fracturing of humanity that's taking place. Hamas and Israel, Hamas refusing to give up its militaristic garbage. So anyway, that's my opinion for today, and I hope that you will always be able to see the glass half full. That's my message to you.